Multiplying fractions. Here we are told to multiply or divide as indicated. First we have 2/3 times 6x. To multiply fractions, we can simply multiply across the numerator and multiply across the denominator. I'm going to start by rewriting 6x as 6x divided by 1, so I could clearly see in the numerator I have 2 times 6x, which is 12x, and the denominator is 3 times 1, which is 3. We need to make sure our answer is in lowest terms. So notice that 12 and 3 are both divisible by 3. So the numerator would become 4, and 3 divided by 3 is 1. So what I have left is 4x over 1, which is just 4x. There is another way we could have worked through this problem. So we started with 2/3 times 6x over 1. Now, basically what we decided to do was perform the multiplication first, and then we simplified through division. So we could have done the division first, basically. So in other words, we do have 2 times 6x over 3 times 1. But instead of performing the multiplication 2 times 6, what we could have done is the division that's happening here, which is 6 divided by 3, or recognizing that both 6 and 3 are divisible by 3. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 6 divided by 3 is 2. So if we perform that division first, now when we perform the multiplication, 2 times 2x, well, that's just 4x. And in the denominator, I have 1 times 1, which is just 1, leaving us with our final simplified answer of 4x. So we could choose to do the multiplication first or the division first. In this example, we have 1/9 times -3/5. Here, the parentheses indicate that we are performing multiplication. We can either jump into multiplying across the numerator and multiplying across the denominator, or we can perform some division first, because 3 divides evenly into 9. So we can say that 3 divided by 3 is 1, and 3 divided into 9 is 3. So now what we have is 1/3 times -1/5. So we can multiply the 1 and -1. We'll attach the negative to the numerator in this case. So 1 times -1 is -1. And then we'll have 3 times +5. So 3 times 5 is 15. So we end up with -1 over 15. Before we move on, one quick warning. This is multiplication because of the parentheses, but if the problem was 1/9 minus 3/5, now we can't do any division of the 3 and the 9 because the operation between them is subtraction. So it's important not to use the word cancel, which is very common. We're going to cancel the 3 and the 9 because what's really happening is division. So this is all multiplication and division. And over here, because we have subtraction, there's nothing we can do with this 3 and this 9. Here we have -2 times 5 6x. Sometimes students see parentheses and think that they need to distribute, but we only distribute over addition or subtraction, and inside here is also multiplication. So this is -2 over 1 times 5 over 6 times x over 1. So we'll multiply across the numerator. -2 times 5 is -10x. 1 times 6 times 1 is 6. Now in lowest terms, we have both are divisible by 2. So we have -5 on the top, 3 on the bottom. So -5x over 3. Or -5/3 x.